everybody, welcome to episode 213 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Mike, we're down 2-0 here in the first 3 minutes to go, but we've still got a whole episode dedicated to the Red Wings rivalry, how it ended. We're going to go with how it ended, and is there an opportunity to relight the flame? Not going to happen tonight. Colorado taking care of us pretty handily. You don't really build a rivalry.
You got to win some of the games.
Yeah. The Red Wings prove you can end a rivalry by destroying the other team, but I don't think you start one. So we'll get into that. We're going to struggle, right? Like the content to the end of the season is going to be, let's get to game 82. Let's get to the trade deadline. So we're going to finagle, a couple of extracurricular activities as we get closer to the end of the season. And this is one. Chris C's here. I think, is this a good, or an UG attempt?
I thought it was
this is good game to me.
Yeah, good game. Yeah, that's what I know from when I get my buns destroyed in online gaming. I'll usually get one of those in a sarcastic message. Hey, Chewy, how you doing, man?
Hey, Chewy. So yeah, I mean, like we said on Sunday, this was going to be a hybrid episode today. Thank you very much, everyone, for giving us the thousands of views the last week or so. So that's been kind of fun. The podcast got its little uptick. If you guys do have a second, please subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. You can review us on Spotify as well. Like I said, it kind of our listenership doubles. So I know that's pretty selfish, right? But here we are. I'm not asking you to buy anything. We're going to have fun. We're going to chit chat. If you are listening to the podcast, just remember Sundays, Wednesdays are the live episodes. You can chit chat with us, but we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, come say hello.
I decided today, we're going to try and share some highlights as we roll along here in the live watch along.
Hopefully
we got in trouble
couple.
last time, but we're gonna give it another shot and see what happens.
Oh, we got flagged?
Yes, we certainly did.
Got to kill that volume. Not feeling too great about this hockey game. If you are listening in the future, it's 2-0 Avalanche here with about a minute and a half to go here at Little Caesars Arena. And man, I got to tell you, one of my favorite things is driving home, getting ready for this show. Just hearing the pregame from our boys, Ken Cal, and why is his name slipping my mind?
Oh, Mickey? Oh, Ken Cal. I'm sorry, Paul Woods.
Paul Woods. They painted a pretty bleak picture. Ken Cal threw it over to Paul. It's like, so Paul, what are your keys for the game today? And he's like, well, you're going to need a lot of elite goal scoring today, and you're probably going to need some elite goaltending today. And Ken Cal's like, yeah, a couple good points there. You're probably also going to need some elite defensive play to try and keep up with this hot Colorado team. All three of those facets will be really important. Would you say the special teams are going to be key? Oh, yeah, special teams also important. So you want elite goal scoring, elite goaltending, elite defense, and you probably want to chip in one or two in the power play and maybe hold them to 0 on the penalty kill. Well, quite a few things for our Red Wings here to keep in mind as they take to the ice against Colorado. And
wait right there, Ken. I got 6 more.
I wasn't finished. Man, finish. So we're in a Red Wing power play now. Seider teeing it up here behind Grice getting the start tonight. But
hey, we're lined up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last episode, I know we made a joke out of it, but I won't allow it. I won't let you do it. I will just make the announcement. You're maybe a half a second behind me.
Some people like dial-up. That's what I just assumed you were doing, a little vintage. I know you're getting into record playing. Maybe you like dial-up internet connection. I don't know.
Did you? I like record playing?
I thought you were doing that now. Aren't you listening to, like, jazz, like Roy Donk, or is that not a thing?
No, not yet.
You're not listening to the Colgate Power Hour with Roy Donk? No?
I mean,
okay.
That does sound like fun.
It does. Have a little room temp gazpacho to chase it? No?
We're at work we are brainstorming, Mike, We are a top-notch marketing team.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a brainstorm to figure out what to do for April Fool's Day. And we're supposed to put into an idea board, like what we want to do. I think the hardest I've ever had to fight back making a joke that was only going to make me laugh was today. Because I had typed up, replace all the toilets with joke toilets that have tiny little holes that are just big enough for farts. Just for farts. I deleted it. I fought myself. I was like, the 10 seconds of joy right now will not be worth the next 20 years of shame when nobody laughs at it. And they're like, wow, man, this is really what you want to do? So
Well, I thought you were going to pitch, guys, I've been working on this character. It's an old man. His name's Carl Havoc. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to take me to the mall. I'm going to steal French fries off of people's trays and kick their chairs. But excuse the pee trickle for a second. I'm just pouring me a little hot brew here.
Of course, everyone, those are references to I Think You Should Leave.
But Tim Robinson. Detroit native. Yeah.
It's all right. So I just shouted and it blew up in my ears. Is my mic hot today?
It didn't hit me too bad.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah.
Okay. I know we've been having trouble. So anybody who is popping around for every episode, we appreciate y'all. And we're also devastated when the last episode didn't come out perfectly. So thanks for hanging around despite. Speaking of which, Mike, one of our good pals online. Oh, and also we should mention it's the end of the first. We've got it looks like Larry Murphy and John Keating are hanging outside.
They're doing a new gimmick. Ozzy's outdoor rink something.
Oh. All right, so let's put this on pause. Sorry, Anthony, we're gonna call you out in a second here. Sorry, our good buddy on Twitter. What's going on here? All right, this is cute, right? I do love. Let's do this real quick. Rate these guys, Mike. 1, 2, 3. Best guy to worst guy for our period breaks. You've got Ozzy right now, Murph, and John Keating. They all bring something different. Them on?
Based on appropriateness of their being the voice or looks?
How about just like what their job is and their ability to do it?
I'm going to do it in the same order. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Murph, and I'm sorry, Keating. You're number 3.
All right, so that's where I was actually going to do Ozzy, John Keating, because I love me some John Keating. I feel like, Mike, there was a figure in our life that would push us against liking John Keating, but I love him. I think he does a good job.
I think what tarnished him for me forever, I apologize, I can't tell you the name of the guy who did the really good impression of him, but he would kind of tuck his chin in, when it was John Keating's serious time. They say that and it would just, I don't know. I need more of the impression, but I just can't. Now that I know that he kind of like dials himself up, he tees himself up for something serious with a chin tuck.
He's doing it right now. Look at him with that.
Is he doing it right now?
Yeah, he's really pushing those chins.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk a little hockey here, Matt, because we're playing the Avalanche, and I know it's going to lead to something, for this season, and hopefully seasons where the Red Wings are actually in the playoffs.
Well, you're skipping.
Well, you know what? Showrunner, right. What are we doing here?
It's our buddy we didn't shout out his handle. You guys go follow Anthony. He's like running his own show over on Twitter where he'll keep you updated on every second of every Wings game. It's at Anthony Polifro, and his full name is Polifrone. I'm gonna say Polifrone. What do you think, Mike? Frony? Polifrone? He'll let us know because he'll listen, and he's thanked us before for shouting him out. Mike, you went ahead and took our discussion on retiring the Russian Five as a whole in the rafters, and not only on Twitter, but on Reddit as well. So I would argue, Mike, you're talking two very different audiences, two very different communities between Reddit and Twitter. Yes, certainly parallels, myself included, but I think very different audiences. I think Twitter is your hot take machine. I think Reddit is your let's get all this information and we'll make an educated decision group. So that being said, Mike, they both said, again, to recap, would you put a Russian 5 banner in the rafters? And you did come with the asterisk here, like Fedorov, not happening, right? So that's a small little ditty here. Like, it's been decided. Like, you can't have Fedorov. So would you put up this Russian 5 banner? So we talked about it before. So we know we have our buddies here. Silver 3344 is here. He's taking a big dump on Danny DeKaiser in the comments. Danny DeKaiser twice because he do it so nice. Chewy, you're here. So I know, like we talked about it before. Performance Arts here. He's trading Larkin to Colorado. We'll just give that a quick shout out for some reason in the chat here. But I just thought it was interesting because I feel like, Mike, you and I landed on conflicted. I feel like a lot of the people that we invite here for our episodes and we love chatting with also picked conflicted, but a vast majority said yes.
Yeah, I'm not ready to. I guess do a cute retiring there. I don't even know what we're retiring. Just the number 5, which we're already going to do with Nick Lidstrom. So I don't think that really makes sense, unless there's a way that the I thought it was like a God bless it, the what is that root language that, like, Spanish, French, English, is it Germanic? What is it, Matt? Maybe is there a Russian? I don't know, a Russian character for 5 that we can hang up instead.
Well, I'm gonna. What do I want to say here? I know what you're doing, but I think this is just the idea of, like, honoring them and saying these 5 guys and this idea of the Russian 5 belongs up there. This is Mike. Do you see Casey Herbis, Chief Marketing Officer from Rocket Mortgage, on our TVs right now?
No, I do not. I moved away.
All right. Well, it's one of my bosses on TV right now. All right.
Awesome.
Anyway, I don't know. It'd be more fun if you're watching the game. Anyway, it's just about honoring them. My big pickle, or my big stink with it, is just like, it's not necessarily about the confusion of what it actually means. I'm conflicted because of the white flag, like giving up kind of feel that it has. And I feel like it should be a never give up, never surrender sort of fight, like just keep fighting for Sergei to go up there. And we had our whole episode devoted to it, so we won't get too deep into how we feel about having Vladdy up there as well. That's probably where you draw the line on those 5 guys. And that should be an element to think about too. It's another 3 guys that certainly are some of the best hockey players of all time, but probably don't deserve to have their number retired. I think
what I'm scared of is if we retire the Russian 5, we've opened the door to retire the grind line. And
oof. And the NWO. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, then we're like the WWE Hall of Fame. Then just anything can happen. Then you'll have guys that have their number retired twice, and they get 2 rings. Or you could be like Ric Flair, who's been retired 3 times.
Or you could be like X-Pac. He's like all over the map.
All right, enough about pro wrestling. Last episode, I thought we had our worst segment of all time, bringing up pro wrestling. So we'll pull back.
We gotta talk Cody Rhodes going to WWE. Oh, just kidding. I won't. All right, let's move on, man.
Yeah, we have some comments in here. Performance Art, I was just kidding. Trading Larkin, no, it was hypothetical. But what Performance Art did say, I'll call it out. He said, hate to see it, but how good will Larkin be in Colorado with their style and speed? It's an amazing point, Performance Art. But of course, I'm going to tease you for that. You said it yourself. I hate to say it.
Performance Art, don't kill me. I'm going to make a basketball analogy. That would be up there with Durant joining the Warriors. That would be too much. It'd be too much for the rest of the league. I think it would be an incredible get, and it's just perfect for their system. I agree.
Silver 3344. I think this is coming back.
I think there's still some DeKaiser shade. And Silver, if you keep putting digs at DeKaiser. I think we're going to share every single one of them because they just keep making us laugh. That is your alternate captain, by the way.
City Life Project, what's going on? Hey, Tristan's here.
Hey, Tristan, my dude.
Silver throwing shade now at Tristan. Bad juju.
Silver calling Tristan the DeKaiser of Red Wing fans. My God.
What? It's already 2-0. Tristan missed the 2-0. How can he be the bad juju? Silver.
The hockey gods knew. The hockey gods knew. I want more DeKaiser jokes, please.
We never got to this on the last episode because
we're getting to it in the first period. Apparently,
is it fine? It's almost a second. Yeah, is it fine that we make our predictions for this game now? I'm kidding. I put this in the slides because we were going to pivot the conversation to talk about the rivalry with the Avalanche. Because, Mike, we kind of guessed that it might get out of hand. And if you want to talk about eyeball test or the fact that it was 2-0 quick, it's not looking great today. So I think it's okay that we have some planned topics that have nothing to do with this game. It could get ugly. So, guys, this is going to be a heavy chat. We want to see some good engagement because first thing, Mike, we want to go over. This is the easy one. Your favorite moment, like what moment defines the Avalanche Red Wing rivalry? And I want you to dig deep because you can't tell me the fight. You can't tell me March 26th. You got to tell me a moment in that fight. You got to dig deep. What? And you got to remember too, you can't just pick a Red Wings blowout, right? We're defining the rivalry here, Mike.
Well, let me do another wrestling analogy.
We got an early answer from Chewy, but go for it.
I don't think the final scores are what stick with you. Much of the WWE way, it's the moments that stick with you. So I don't know how to rank them because they all just kind of popped up at once. But it was Shanahan flying through the air. It was the bulldog grizzled grunt of Mike Vernon trying to fight Patrick Waugh, who looked, at least 6 to 8 inches taller than our beloved Vernon. But God damn it, he was not going to let his teammates down. But I'll also say that as far as like a historic triumph, that flaunting of the glove save by Waugh, where he threw the puck back and it fell out of his glove and into the net for a goal. That was the like Dark Souls version of triumphing over evil when that happened, and it felt like he was never the same after that cocky moment. Like it never felt like he had the same mystique after we conquered him and got that goal, and then there was just an onslaught of offense, after that play. I would say those three, 2 wrestling moves and 1 cocky taunt that went awry for seemingly the entire franchise.
Yeah, that's I like how you put it there, because that definitely was a defining moment to get us closer to the end, right? Like that. That's probably at least one fun way to look at it. I think it's clear we can't ignore, and I'll give this one to Chewy. Chewy threw it out there. You got your turtle on Claude. D-Mac, of course. I mean the it's not only been talked about a million times. I mean, Mike, there's paintings of it, of Darren taking out Lemieux. So it's that should probably be it, right? But I wanted to do maybe this isn't as grand and memorable of a moment, but I feel like when you talk about the rivalry and you're trying to find different things that are what happened in this rivalry. And it just seemed to take guys out of their element, and they stepped it up and played a whole different level. So I'm going to go to our boy once again, May 18th, 2002, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, Mike. When I talk about a guy playing above where you'd expect and picking the team that he would do this against, you come back to Darren McCarty, Mike, and the hat trick to help the Red Wings take a 1-0 lead in that series to really like try to do a gut punch here, get a real good left hook from a mental standpoint. Mike, the Avalanche had to go into game 2 knowing they gave up 3 goals to freaking Darren McCarty. Patrick Waugh had to look himself in the mirror that night. Now, what happened here? Colorado won the next game, but Waugh still gave up 3. It wasn't until where are we at? Oh my gosh. It wasn't until game 5 where Waugh shut down the Wings and stopped us for 1. But I think you're right. Like there's something about this series where Waugh was just never the same after a couple of moments, and this really turned his career. The Darren McCarty hat trick has to still gnaw at him. I think the Statue of Liberty, where he goes up to show everybody he has the puck and then gets knocked in game 6. And forgive me, I think I got it wrong last time we talked about that goal. So I'm just going to say whoever knocked it in. And then, of course, the 7-0 drubbing. And
yeah.
That
Statue of Liberty play, the only other thing I can compare it to is when Iron Man, Iron Man swindled all the Infinity Stones off of Thanos, and he went for the snap, and then suddenly the puck was in the back of the net. That's the only other magical moment I can compare that to.
Yeah, that was Shanny. I think last time we talked about it, I gave it to Steve, but Steve, I think he put the initial puck on net, and then Shanny cleaned it up. Also, fun note with my point on the hat trick from D-Mac. Also, second period goal from D-Mac, making it 2-0 in that game 6. So from that point, the Avalanche didn't score the rest of the series. Hasek shut them down. But yeah, that's I think for me, I like putting that as a defining moment, or a defining moment, that McCarty hat trick, because it was something that for these players, you step up and you're not going to let this other team get past you. And there's probably some moments like that in regards to the Avalanche triumphing over us, but I don't care about those. They can just go in the history books and I'll never think about them again. But Mike, that being said, we've already brought up, oh man, I lost my feed on the Red Wings game. I don't even know if the second period has started, but to that point, game 7, you've got the 7-0 win. And what I want to ask is, what was the end of this rivalry? Was it that moment, or did it perhaps continue and there were some other moments? So I just want to propose some ideas to you, and I want to get your thoughts. So like I said, there's game 7. You got, what was that? That's probably the free press. Au revoir was on the front page. They went over the 7 goals. But yeah, I mean, clearly, easily, you could pick that, because never again was it as heated, I would say. I'm also throwing in, Mike, the 2008 playoffs. You still got Sakic on that team. Still got Forsberg. 8-2 win in game 4. And then we sweep the Avs. I mean, I'm talking the end of the rivalry, Mike. This is it. You've either got that 7-0 game where those two teams lay their lives on the line, or this last chance for Colorado and Sakic to try and make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. And Johan Franzen says no and slams the door shut, especially in that 8-2 win. And again, this being 4 straight for the Wingdings. They don't even sniff it in game 4. It's just all Red Wings. They're moving on. I believe that was the second round, and then they move on to face Dallas. Or, Mike, was this the final nail in the coffin? The 2016 NHL Stadium Series in Colorado. Patrick Waugh coaching. Also, maybe the end of his coaching career here. Red Wings take them down 5-3. And then that's it. We don't hear from Patrick Waugh ever again. I would say, as much as Sakic was a part of that stuff, and you were scared of Sakic and Forsberg, I would say Waugh was definitely the heel that lasted the longest, because Lemieux moves on, so he's not hanging around too often, but Waugh was around for everything, and I think that was the guy I you hated the most? There's another question to kind of tackle there, but seeing him go down in Colorado, like this is his opportunity to kind of get a win back after all of those. I mean, you could go back to the Montreal days when Wah got knocked out and we had that 9-0 win. You can go to the 7-0 win in 2002. Of course, he wasn't a part of the 2008 playoffs there, but this would have been one for them to get one back on Detroit. You know, that they had the alumni game the night before, but he couldn't do it. Couldn't coach his team to beat. You can see Gus Nyquist getting high fives there. Jonathan Erickson in the background. The Nyquist-Erickson group took down Patrick Waugh's Colorado Avalanche 5-3. Mike.
Well, I don't want to keep harping on the same point, but it really felt like that rivalry kind of ended in 2002. Obviously, the Statue of Liberty was devastating, for that game, and then the floodgates just opened in Game 7. But I think that's when it felt like we own these guys. So, if you fast forward a couple years, was that 2008 with the sweep? Mm-hmm. We just happened to be playing each other in the playoffs. It didn't feel like this was like a real, like bloodlust rivalry. It just kind of felt like, well, this is an obstacle on our way to the goal. The ultimate goal to hold the cup up. So I don't want to dampen it and say that it was maybe a little bit shorter, but I think that its prime years were, what was that, 90, 95, 96, and up through 2002. I would say that was the real peak of that rivalry, and I think it ended when we won that Game 6 and 7 because, being down, after Game 5, it was a real back and forth fight. It was, two fairly evenly matched teams, and then the Red Wings just broke them because it was just too much skill for the Avalanche to overcome. So, yeah, and I guess I still see those jerseys. I'm going to throw in one silly caveat too, because the Avalanche kind of got away from this, but they used to have the cool Bigfoot on the side of the jerseys, on the sleeves.
Yeah.
And they keep getting away from that to try and look cool. I think that when they got rid of those, it kind of hurt them a little bit too. I would bring that back. More Sasquatch, please.
So I will say, of course, I brought up some of these just to kind of say, like, I think it did kind of live on. I think there were probably still fans that would get up and get excited. Like it would be national TV if the Red Wings and Avalanche were playing into that 2008 season. Like it was still something they'd bring up, and they'd want to make sure they threw in their little talking points for what happened in the 90s and why these two teams still hate each other. So that's where I come and make I could make the easier argument that it was 2008, but I still say, like, this was it. I still say the 2016 Stadium Series was it. This was maybe it was like out of 100 nails that were going in, they found an extra one after they were done with 100 and put one more in, and then they tossed it 6 feet deep. But I pick the 2016 Stadium Series. And Fethdar's here, Mike. And guess what Fethar says?
Fethar. How you doing?
End of the rivalry, outdoor alumni game. I like that. That's actually a fun little ditty to this argument.
Almost, for me, that's almost when the rivalry jumped the shark.
So I ruined it. So it's already jumped the shark, and then the next night they do the Stadium Series game.
Yeah, I would have had like Lemieux and McCarty out there with like sock and bopper mitts on, just bopping each other on the alumni game. That would have been kind of fun.
So Chewy says there's always going to be a rivalry with them because of the history, but definitely not as heated. That is very interesting, Mike. Because there's something about the media that has something to do with these rivalries staying heated. There's something about like university rivalries. Like, clearly what I'm bringing up there is like Michigan and Ohio State. For some reason, that never seems to dampen, and you've got a whole new load of kids. You separate 4 years, and no kids are the same in that college atmosphere. So it almost makes no sense. And then there's like the Yankees and the Red Sox that feels like it's just about ESPN trying to get ratings. And there's no way those two teams really hate each other that much, right? It's about like fan bases probably hating each other more than anything. So I think with that, Mike, does Chewy have something to that? Is it more along the lines of like university hatred for them? Or
here's what I'll say in his defense. Because I wouldn't have gone that far. I think what you could say in his defense, it is definitely lower than a simmer at this moment. But that's only because the Red Wings are not a playoff team. In order for us to even think about like a contemporary rivalry, we have to absolutely be in the playoffs, playing games that actually matter, not, squabbling over 1 or 2 points in the regular season standing. So I think that it's one angry series away that you could reignite it, and suddenly the regular season games would be like a huge sell on TV. It'd be really fun to do our podcast during those episodes. But for now, it's, one incredibly skilled team, and the Red Wings are still kind of, trying to work their way out of a tricycle onto a bicycle. So it's not quite there yet, obviously, but I do think that he has a point. I think you can be a playoff series away from everybody hating Colorado again, and like itching to see them in the playoffs.
I would say, I think it is possible to kill a rivalry. And I think this is one of those instances.
Is it? That's like, what kind of, can I ask you a question, Matt?
Yeah, no, that's not how this works.
Because I know that the NHL loves talking about historic rivalries, right? Mm-hmm. So what, like Toronto, Montreal, is another one like Boston, Montreal, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
you can do like the Flyers and the Penguins, but
somehow everybody in the original 6 is a rival. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's a historical rivalry. And you could say Detroit and Chicago. If they could get to a point where the games matter again in the playoffs, is there a contemporary rivalry that you kind of look forward to right now?
Well, I'll throw this in the chat. Actually, Chewy was getting that conversation started, so thank you, Chewy. Jared's thrown out there Tampa, and then Chewy's actually in agreement with that, that it is Tampa. I'll throw this in there too. Jared finished off by saying back-to-back playoffs being knocked up by them elevated my hatred. That never really made me as mad, I think, as it was supposed to. And that was probably because they were led by Stevie Y at the time, right? Like he was the GM. So it was like, how mad could you be? Our hero defeated us. Like it's okay. But I think a huge element we're missing here is, would Tampa Bay look at the Detroit Red Wings right now and say, that's our rival? Because it's gotta be mutual. So you can hate a team, but I don't think Tampa in any way is looking at us and being like, we take down the Red Wings regardless of Stanley Cup. This season was a success. Kind of like how Michigan and Ohio State look at each other.
No, I just feel like, Tampa is such they're, a hockey elephant, and we're just a fruit fly kind of buzzing around their ass. Like we're not like a threat to them at all.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's so hard to say that we have a rivalry right now when you don't play any games that matter. Like our closest rival then would be like Ottawa, because we're jockeying with them like for draft position, and they took away Tim Stützle, who I really wanted, but we don't have one yet.
And Fethdar's right there too. We don't have one at the moment, and again, I'd agree with that, because it's kind of tough for you to find the equal playing partner that we would also want to be proud to call our rival. To your point, like, what are we going to do? Pick Arizona? No. We had fun in the last couple of seasons trying to fight all the bums for the last
one
spot.
Team that I think I can reel you in on. They're not a rival yet, but I think we're one season away from them being there.
I like this conversation. Go for it.
We are one season away. And I think that people in the comments are going to agree with this. And
Ooh.
part of it is because of where the standings are at right now. As far as one team kind of being on the rise and one team kind of not quite falling, but they're still trying to, kind of figure out as their young guys develop and their older guys try to cling together, try to, keep some semblance of a team together. I'm looking at Boston. And if it's going to, we're not going to immediately skyrocket to the top of the league next season. So you're going to be, kind of boxing around with people in your weight class. And as far as, the Bruins kind of being right around where we're at, obviously they have a lead. They're going to more than likely statistically get in the playoffs just ahead of us. Those games are really going to matter next season, where if we're serious, we call up a few more of our prospects. We, make a move in free agency, maybe 2 moves because we have the cap space to do it. We make some sort of trade because we have all the assets that are sexy to other teams. As far as like a stepping stone team, I think the Bruins are right there where if you want to prove yourself and at least get to the point where you're, maybe not the top of your division. That's a pretty lofty goal, a pretty high expectation for a team that's, been, excuse our French, dog crap for a couple seasons, before this one. As far as a stepping stone team that I think you could really learn to hate very quickly, give me the black and yellow Bruins.
Quick shout out. Festar was throwing in guesses while you were getting us excited. He threw in Buffalo. Which I thought was funny. He did agree though with Boston. You could see it. I think Jared's thrown out there, not Buffalo. They have no identity. I think Festar was screwing around.
He was joshing. Yeah.
Yeah. And Festar says he'd love to see Detroit usher in the end of Marchand, which yeah. So here's my thing with Boston, and it's going to kind of jump off this point. I think the end of Boston is nigh, and when we end them, like let's say we knock them out of the playoffs and they don't show up again, are they going to be our rival at that point? Because then they won't even be in the playoffs, and we get one heated year, and then that's it. So my thing is an event like we've been talking about Boston eventually falling off. And when I say we, I guess when I read the hockey news the last couple of years, and they're like, no, they're not going to be good this year. Kind of like how we were talked about for a good 5 years after we won the cup in 2008. But like eventually it's going to happen, and we're closer to that than them like doing a rebuild on the fly would be my best take without being totally knowledgeable of what's going on in Boston's farm system off the top of my head. So I'm going to say that is that my only pushback with Boston is that it might be very short-lived. And I don't know, I guess really, right? Yeah, I guess you only need a couple of years, right? I mean, the Red Wings only had a couple of years with Colorado, and then all of a sudden this was the greatest rivalry in hockey history. And then it went on for years. But, they built it up in a couple of years real quick. So I don't know. I do like that. I mean, when you talk about who do you want to be rivals with, I wish Tampa was our rival, because then we'd have a reason that they hate us because we keep, maybe we're knocking them out of the playoffs, or, like where Toronto probably sees themselves as rivals with Boston right now because that's their big hump that they can't seem to get over. When it was Washington and Pittsburgh in the playoffs, and Washington couldn't get over that hump. So, it's.
Can I give you one more fun idea? Because can I give you one more fun one, Matt?
Yeah.
And it's just because they have a bunch of guys that are kind of in the same age group as the Red Wings. Would you feel? Because I would really, it would be must see TV if somehow we ended up playing like the Rangers next year, and we could get more Lucas Raymond versus Lafreniere, which I know Lafreniere hasn't proven himself yet, but it's just like that kind of extra incentive.
That is a good one. Can I say that's perfect? I will say all of my problems that I had with your Boston pick. I feel like,
and I want to add one nugget too, because I do want to hear your analysis. because you're gonna have more to say than I will. You're just a little bit more up to date on the Rangers. Now I totally forgot my point. Go ahead, man. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say, like all the problems I had with Boston, you kind of just fixed them, because this is a team that we'll be fighting for spots with, because we talked about like 2 weeks ago that there is an anonymous GM in the league that was making his play that everything New York is doing right now is smoke and mirrors because of their amazing goaltending. And as soon as that goaltending goes away, hey, maybe you lose a game to the Red Wings. Which just happened. But like those are the types of things that need to happen. Like we win close ones. You could see in the shootout, Greiss. Oh my God, who did he stop in the shootout where he was? Was it Strome? You guys can help me.
Was it Strome or
in the
Panarin?
comments? So whoever had the throw across the crease with a wide open net and they missed, because Greiss came out to challenge. I'm pretty sure that was strong. But like that's one of those games where that starts to get built up and there is a little bit of hate. It would be fun to check the schedule and see if we've got one more that we could steal from them. But yeah, that is a great pick.
I thought of one more point I wanted you to harp on too. I thought of what it was.
Here,
so
can I throw this out there? Jared Shaw, Lafreniere and Raymond, and then Fox versus Seider.
Woo-wee! I love it.
Very nice.
The thing too is playing a New York team. You know how it is that the big market cities always get pushed and advertised a lot more. That's why usually, regardless of record, the Kings and the Rangers will get major TV games on weekends. So to be going up against the Rangers, and their young guys are a little bit more seasoned than ours. That's why they're so much farther ahead in the standings. It would be kind of cool to have that underdog mentality to get our feet wet in the playoffs against a team like that. Against a team that's like, see, this is what it's like in one more year with all your young pups having that extra, year of experience. So I think it'd be kind of a cool coming of age test to go up against those guys. And I think, again, it would be another spot to really develop a rivalry, because I would hate to listen to New York media anytime the Rangers win one of those games. Oh, that would just really grind my molars into dust.
I mean, that is a great point too. There is still the possibility, Mike, because some things line up with Colorado still, and I had this little image put up here, because if we're going to talk like New York and the timeline of the Rangers, and I love how you put it, they're like a year ahead of us. We could be the ones that are sneaking into the playoffs.
Yeah, similar roster construction. Yeah.
But I wanted to bring up, I said the Avs rivalry is dead, but we do have like the two captains when this was at its most heated are now running these two teams. Do you think there's any way we can restart this? I think it depends on, the next time we face the Avalanche, considering we got absolutely lunched in December, and now this one's kind of looking like Child's play too. It'd be nice to kind of stop that. But you do have, the same way we were playing this game of Lafreniere and Raymond. I mean, the Cale Makar versus Moritz Seider game, that's going to be a fun one to watch for quite a while too. So they're similar. I think, obviously they're deeper into their build, much deeper than us. I mean, if you had to put a number on it, what, 6 years, maybe 5-6 years. But to that end, there's still some potential here. I think if we can get Steve and Joe involved, I think if they could start calling each other out, I think we can get this thing turned up again. Mike, is there anybody that you would hire into the Red Wings that could add some juice? We got to figure. Actually, we got Jared calling out that Zadina's about to put a goal in. I don't have that on my feed yet, so
oh my,
it's coming.
Hey, yeah,
all right,
yeah, he got a nice little rebound goal. I think that was Seider on the drive.
Oh yeah, nice one. All right, let's get in trouble here, right?
Oh god, you're gonna get us canceled again. Here we go.
All right, just real quick for y'all that are watching, let me do you a little favor here. All right, Seider's got it. He has Raymond across the ice to pass to. Takes the shot. Zadina puts in the rebound. Beautiful play. Great decision. Although, you know what? Raymond did have quite a bit of space. I mean, it went in, right? What am I saying? But all right, let's get that off the screen before the whole YouTube channel gets taken down. Nice job, Z.
I kind of like Seider's play though. He keeps getting yelled at to shoot more, and it was almost it seemed like a very purposeful. I'm gonna create a rebound out of this shot, so it doesn't really matter to me if it goes in. And lo and behold, that's what it did. And now the Avalanche are really buzzing. All right, there we go. At least we got it going back the other way. So Boston, maybe not as much. I just thought that was a team that was maybe a little more our speed. But I think he brought up some good points. And, God, I would not mind building a rivalry with New York.
You brought up too good of a point with New York, so I'm completely deflated with my, I'm going to bring up, Steve and Joe as GMs. There's like no energy.
How about the Blue Jackets? They're on their way.
I have like zero energy to bring up my own point that I threw into the slides earlier today. Well, all right. It's 2-1, Mike. You begged, pleaded, please, can we not go an hour and a half today? Everybody, that's everything we had today. We kept it light on purpose. Like we said, this is like a pseudo hybrid watch along because we're pretty much just recording our content so we can get money from DraftKings eventually. So I do thank you guys all for tuning in. We're going to sail off into the sunset right now. I actually still have some work to do, so I absolutely have to stop doing this podcast right now and get back to work.
Whoopsie.
Jobs are fun, right?
Yes, they are.
I missed working that whole time.
Did you?
No.
Man, it's horrible. I could have told you that. Why didn't you just ask?
Well, money's fun, so I like that. Who doesn't love money? All right, we're clearly wrapping up here. So hopefully we can muster up a couple more Zadina goals. Zadina will get the hat trick. We'll win 3-2. That'll be fun to watch for everyone. I bet. What are our reminders? Go buy some stuff. Support us, bodpodcast.com. Click the shop button. If you guys don't want to support us that way, if you just go to Apple Podcasts and do the subscribe, rate, and review, it does us a world of good. Every time we do it, it's our listener base doubles. So if you guys have a second, we greatly appreciate it. We hope you guys are having fun while we're recording these. So that would be the absolute least.
And I just wanted to throw in one nugget too. If you didn't have enough rooting interest in this game because the Red Wings are really trying to take down one of the top teams in the league, Matt, I'm going to have you guess. How many times have the Avalanche lost when leading after one period this season?
0?
You are correct. They are 22-0-0 when leading after one. So kind of excited to see if the Red Wings can bust this streak here. It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to try and do some longer stuff on Sunday. Do we have a game this Sunday? Maybe just a Saturday night game. We'll get you guys some longer content here. But yeah, Matt's got work to do tonight, so we do apologize for cutting this short, even after labeling it a hybrid watch along. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday, and thanks for tuning in. Love y'all.
Bye.